Good afternoon. Nice to be here with you. I'm Ellen of Ellen's Healthy Kitchen, and today we're talking about starting over, or might I say, not starting over, because that is something that I did again and again and again. And I do not want to start over ever again. For me, starting over represents a trap. And I don't want to be trapped by that anymore. I want to have food freedom, and I have had food freedom for about 7 years now. And I want to share my success with you, and I want to share it so that my hope is that you will take some strength and some inspiration from my journey. If you are watching right now, not if, because you are watching, let me know where you are watching from. And if you feel so inclined, talk about no more starting over. I know Starchy Shauna just said, no more starting over. We are done with that. We are done with starting over. No more. I think that we have all, and I know I can speak for myself, and I know I can speak for you. I know that we have all been caught in that cycle of that was a never ending cycle, just over and over and over, of what diet culture shoved down our throats. This is what diet culture taught me, and I'm curious to know if it taught you. It taught me to binge and restrict, because I was always either good and on plan or I was bad. There was always this value judgment. And if I were bad, then that means that I needed to be punished. And so the punishment was after I would binge because I was bad, and binge could mean different things to different people, but I would then restrict, right? Because if I was bad and I ate that, I always go back to that whole sleeve of Oreos just because I know I did it many times, then I know that I would then restrict. I would say, okay, you're a bad girl, Ellen. And this all, by the way, went on in my head. I didn't share this because it was embarrassing. And it wasn't until I came out of the closet of this diet culture that where I was able to share this with other people, when I started to find out, oh my God, I'm not the only one. There are other people who, a lot of other people who have gone through this in the past and are just darn tired of it. They don't want to do it anymore. Yes, there was no middle ground. There was either on or off. You were either binging and then restricting. You were either good or you were bad. And that just was not sustainable. I mean, it was sustainable for decades. And I will say that people who don't experience this don't understand it. And I don't blame them. For whatever reason, that's not their journey. But I do know that there are many, many people who understand. You people who are here, I'm guessing, and you can let me know in the comments, I'm guessing that you are done with starting over tomorrow, or starting over the next day, or starting over the next week, whatever it is. Tell me. I'm not. I know I'm not the only one. So give me a thumbs up in the chat and let me know. Has this been your experience too? So what diet culture taught me was this binge restriction cycle, this roller coaster cycle over and over and over again. This need to be perfect, because again, either you're on or you're off. This obsessing over food. Some might say that I obsess over food now, but I think it's not. It might look like it, but for me, it's about loving the food that I eat. And I love it so much that I want to talk about it, think about it, shop for it. I don't love emptying the groceries, I'll confess, but it has to be done. But I just know that the obsession of needing to be perfect is no longer there. And for me, knowing that that's been gone for 7 years, that's a long time. That's almost a decade. To me, that's amazing. And that's the gift for me, of following a plant-based. I call it whole food plant-based, but for some reason, for some people, that is a trigger. It almost is like too perfect. So I just say right now, today, I could change my mind tomorrow, but right now for today, I'm saying plant-based or plant forward. Um, some people who are not ready to make the full plunge into plant-based will say plant forward. I'm plant-based 100%, 150%. I don't want to feel like I failed. That's what had to stop. That had to go. I want to eat the food, like Beth says. I want to love the food that makes me feel better. I want to love the food that is supporting my health and my health span. Whatever lives I have left, whatever life I have left on this planet, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, or whatever it is, I want them to be as healthy as possible. And I have found that eating this way is giving me it's like a golden ticket. Being on or off, there was no peace. There was no food freedom because every single morsel that I put in my mouth I was either being good or being bad. There was no just having peace and not having to fuss over what I was eating and wonder whether I was, staying on my diet. So I know that I know I'm not the only one who was trapped in that cycle. It's yes, and WFPB Princess says, "I'm 66. My whole life has been a series of starting over." And I tell you, my hand to whatever God you believe in, whatever being you believe in, I can tell you that it doesn't have to be like that. Doesn't have to be any more like WFPB Princess says, no more good, no more bad. You just do your best. And if you make a choice that doesn't work for you and it doesn't support your health span, okay, it happens. So then it's not like you're getting right back on the wagon or that you're going to be good again. It's just that you made a choice and now it's time to go back to the basics, to go back to the foundation. If you're watching, I would so appreciate it if you would click the thumbs up. Right now, I see 16 people on the live, and welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And I only see 8 thumbs up. So I'd like to see that 8 turn to 16 if you're watching. Okay. I'm looking at my notes here. And one of the things that I'm going to do today is I'm going to sing for you. Not yet. Just stick around. I'm going to sing a song that I wrote. And I'm kind of excited about it. So let's talk about one of the, while you're here, before we go on, and I'm going to mention this a few times, I am going to be doing another reset in June. And if you want to get on the wait list, it doesn't hold you to anything, but there are only so many people that I will take in the group. So if you want to get on the wait list, some of you are already on it. You know who you are because you emailed me and I told you, yes, you're on it. But what I would suggest that you do is click on the link that I've included that is pinned at the top of the chat. Click on that and make sure that you fill that form out so that you will get right on the wait list until it fills up. And then, at that point, all bets are off. We'll see what happens. Anyway, I want to talk about why one of the shifts that changed everything for me. And that shift, it doesn't make sense with everything we were brought up with. It's the idea of eating more. Think about that for a moment. Eating more. Now also going back to the reason I was always on again, off again was because I was always on a diet. And I was on a diet when now I look back at pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking? I didn't need to be on a diet, but the diet culture was so ingrained. And those of you who have never experienced this don't understand it. You can't possibly understand it. Hopefully, in those cases, you have people in your life who support you and understand. And even though they might never have experienced it, they support you. And I can say that for myself. My husband never had an issue ever. He was, for him, he basically ate so that he could live, he enjoys food, but he doesn't understand because he's never experienced this on again, off again diet culture roller coaster, but he supports me. And for that, I am so super uber grateful. But one of the biggest shifts for me was learning to eat more. I mean, am I the only one who spent years, when I think about it, eating a piece of chicken that, maybe it was dry to the bone, maybe it was delicious, whatever, but my plate was a piece of chicken and a salad. That was it. Cruciferous vegetables? Are you kidding? Ugh, I didn't even think about it. It was some kind of protein. It was either chicken or fish. Not so much fish. I wasn't into it that much. Chicken or steak or hamburger or meatloaf or something like that, and a salad. Morning, noon, and night. Or my morning was usually a bagel with cream cheese, and then lunch was usually, and dinner was usually some kind of a salad with a protein, and that that went on for years and years and years. And I was always hungry an hour later, always hungry. When I think back now about it, I literally would, an hour after I ate that, I'd be starving, but I wouldn't let myself eat anything more because you had enough, Ellen, you're done, right? So rethinking, rejiggering, and learning from people like Dr. John McDougall and Chef AJ, who are two of my heroes, and learning that you can eat more. You just have to know how to eat that food. So now, I'll give you an example. Like for dinner, I made the most delicious. It's sitting right behind me, right back there. Can I turn this so you can see it? Where is it? Is it there? No, it's this way. I just have to get out of the way. There we go. Wait a minute. See the crock pot? There it is right here. That crock pot has, I'm sorry I can't show it to you, but it has the most delicious leek and white bean. They're lima beans soup in it. And it's Starchy Shauna's recipe from one of her last videos. And I followed it to a T, and I've already tasted it. I've burned the top of my mouth. It's delicious. I can't wait to have it. So I'm going to have that over some, actually haven't decided. Shauna, tell me what you have with it. I'm thinking either some brown rice, or maybe I'll make some jasmine and quinoa. I like to make that combination. Or maybe I'll make potatoes. I might do that. Yes, Starchy Shauna says, I spent so many years trying to eat tiny portions. Oh my God, so crazy. Anna Cabot, have you been here before? I don't recognize your name, but I'm just so glad you're here, and I'm so glad that you're happy to be here. So it's nice for us to gather, Butter bean bliss. Yes, that's what it is. Brown rice or yellow potatoes with the butter. That's exactly what I was thinking of. I'm not sure which one yet, and then I probably will make a whole boatload of non-starchy vegetables, and happy to take your suggestions. I have lots of them in the refrigerator because that's kind of my middle name. Lots and lots of vegetables. So anyway, one of the shifts I made was learning to stop fearing food and eating more. Just eating more starches, more potatoes, more rice, more oats, more beans, more pasta. I mean, I wonder if I can show you. I don't know if this will work, but I'll give it a try. I'll show you my picture of breakfast this morning, which was absolutely beyond. I woke up like I couldn't wait to get downstairs to make it. So this is what, can you see it? There. Okay, it is. I'll tell you what it is. It's rolled oats. And let me know in the chat, can you see it? I make this in the microwave. It takes me about 5 to 8 minutes to put it together, and it takes 10 minutes in my microwave. Now, every microwave is different, so you have to know your microwave, but I've been doing this now for a few years. It's rolled oats that I mix with a little bit of salt, a little bit of red lentils, a little bit of vanilla extract when I remember, a little bit of stevia, liquid stevia that I really, really like, some some frozen bananas that I cut into, like maybe a third of a frozen banana that I cut into little chunks, zucchini that's shredded. Oh, you know what I forgot today? I just realized I forgot my carrots. I knew something was missing. Darn it. Yes, I am the oatmeal queen. I sometimes do it with steel cut oats, but they take longer, and I almost always forget to do it at night. So this works for me, and I love it. Let's see what else. Besides there's frozen riced cauliflower in here, and a little bit of cinnamon, And then you can see I change the fruit up. It depends on what I'm in the mood for. This was blueberries, strawberries, and there's little gooseberries that I get once in a while that I love. They're a little tart, but they add a nice contrast to the sweet blueberries and strawberries. And then I have some homemade soy yogurt. What else did I put? And there's some more cinnamon on top of that. Little teensy bit of maple syrup, just a teensy bit, like maybe a teaspoon, and some soy milk. I either buy shelf stable soy milk or I make it. And then with this, I had hold on, I want to go back to where I was. I had a cup of decaf coffee, and in it, I'll show you what I've been doing. I take a teaspoon of this, which is 400 milligrams of calcium citrate, and I mix it in my heated soy milk, and then I make foam out of it with this. You can hear that. And then I pour that into my coffee and I drink the whole thing, and I eat the remaining, I spoon the remaining foam into my mouth because I want to make sure not to miss any of those 400 milligrams of that. And then with all the other food I eat, I am fairly confident that I have about 1,200 milligrams of calcium over the course of the day between all the greens that I eat, etc. So anyway, the idea of having the starches, and I almost always have some kind of a plant-based protein, whether it's beans or tofu or whatever. My morning oatmeal doesn't. That just has the 1 tablespoon of red lentils, but I have plenty of protein over the course of the rest of the day, so I'm not concerned about that. But these foods help me feel satisfied. You know what the funny thing is? Come close, I'm going to tell you. I'm almost never starving. I'm so satiated that I'm almost never starving. I still eat 3 meals a day. I try not to call them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's a hard habit to break, but I kind of call them fuelings. And that's what I teach my coaching clients. I call them fuelings. We're like pulling up to the gas station and fueling up, because that's, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. It's fuel for your body. Right? That's what it is. So I stopped trying to survive on tiny portions. Then I was starving, I can tell you that. I stopped binging and restricting. I stopped it. And when I started eating enough of the foods that that satiated me, what happened was that constant food noise, that constant berating myself, just disappeared. It just doesn't happen. And it didn't happen right away. So for those of you who are just starting your journey, know that it doesn't happen right away. It takes some time. It takes some time for your palate to change. Just takes some time. But what I've also found is that simple meals are the best. And my simple meals tend to consist of, more often than not, what I call components. You think about what a component is, right? If the components in a car are all the parts that when you put them together, they make the car. So, but they're each individual parts on their own. That's kind of what my bowls, and most of my meals are bowls. That's mostly what they are components. Whether it's the starches that are the potatoes, the rice, the kabocha squash, the butternut squash. They're the starches that are really going to fill you up. And I almost always have, like I said, a component of either tofu, and I have different kinds of tofu. I have soy tofu, I have fava bean tofu. I'm about to try my hand at making red lentil tofu. I have a recipe for that. Or soy curls is another one that I do. And then a boatload, at least half of my bowl, 50% of my bowl is non-starchy vegetables. And I love them. And for me, now, if you're on a weight loss journey, you're going to be in a different place than I am. But I was where you were. And I didn't know then really as much as I know now about how you build your plate. I just ate whole food plant-based, and I always had a sauce, and I still lost the weight. And I'm not saying that you should do it the way I did it, just this is what worked for me. And even today, it's rare when my bowls don't have some kind of a sauce on them. I usually keep 2 or 3 in my fridge at a time. But what happened was I also stopped trying to make every meal perfect and picture worthy and Instagram worthy and Pinterest worthy. I was like, okay, Ellen, come on. You just got to eat. Just put your bowl together and stop kvetching about it. I wanted to stop overcomplicating my food and my bowls. Are there times when I make real blown recipes? Yeah, there are. Like the soup behind me, it was a recipe. It was super easy, but a lot of times the components are straight old. They're components that don't have a nutrition label. Think about that for a moment. A potato doesn't have a nutrition label stamped on it. Broccoli doesn't have a nutritional label stamped on it. So a lot of my components are foods that don't have a nutrition label. I started building my meals from those simple components. And that, for me, the starch, the vegetables, the plant protein, and not always, that was one that was negotiable. I didn't always have a specific plant protein, which I think is okay. And the sauce, which is sort of what I call my flavor faves. And what that did right from the get-go was reduce decision fatigue hugely, because I was always under the influence, under the thumb of decision fatigue, and what am I going to eat? What am I going to make? What's in my fridge? What's in my freezer? What am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? What am I going to eat? That decision fatigue was just debilitating, and that's gone. It's gone. I'm happy to tell you that is gone. These simple meals are what is sustainable. Now, I will tell you that my husband eats differently than I do, and I can't force him to eat what I eat. So I'm always willing, and I do this every night, he'll have some of my components, but he has his own wants, needs, desires. So, for example, I barbecued for him some chicken last night, and I also at the same time barbecued, and they came out so good I could cry. Russet potatoes that I cut into wedges. I added some seasonings, and then I put them in their own little, it was like a separate little piece, like a little barbecue tray kind of, that kept it separate from the chicken. And oh, they came out so good. They were a little burnt. I'd never done it before, so the next time I'll be more careful, but oh my God, were they delicious. So he wants to have tonight, I think he wants to have pasta with the leftover chicken, and I have some pesto that I can add. That's I got at Trader Joe's, and he loves it. And he'll have probably either a salad or whatever vegetables I make, he'll have. And for me tonight, he might even have a little bowl or a little cup or a bowl of soup. So I'm going to have the soup with either the potatoes or the brown rice. And I'm going to make just a big boatload of non-starchy vegetables, and I will be a happy camper. And if I want something else when I'm done, I'll have some sorbet, which Shauna has taught me how to make. And I actually read somewhere, Shauna, correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes the sorbet is a little sort of, oh, there he goes. Sometimes the sorbet is a little bit icy. So I think what I'm going to do is, I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet, but I want to do it in the Ninja Creamy, but I don't think I'll be able to, because I'd have to defrost it from the little jar and put it in the Ninja Creamy. So I think I should have the next time maybe what I'll do is I'll make the sorbet and make it and put it in the Ninja Creamy and freeze it in those containers. Maybe what I'll do is soften it in the microwave and then maybe add some mashed banana or something like that to make it a little bit creamy, Okay. Let's see. I want to just look at my notes. Christine says, I just made 13 bean soup, minestrone type with oat groats, the way Tammy Nutmeg Notebook makes. Ooh, that sounds interesting. I'm going to have to Google that and see. She's a gem. I love her recipes. In fact, I just looked up something of hers today. What was it? I think I looked up salad dressing, and then I got lazy and I just used California balsamic, because that works too. I made today, I'm very, very proud of this. I made smashed chickpea salad. Sit with that for a moment. My sister, Faye, actually, Shauna, can you text Faye and tell her to get her little butt over here? Can you do that for me? I hate chickpea, no tuna salad, I think it's called, something like that. And my sister makes it. I'm waiting for this. Hold on one second. Yes, but text Michael. Hold on and ask. I have a friend who wants to use our parking space in Boston. Okay, so wait, what was I saying about? Oh, so Faye makes this chickpea salad with full big chickpeas, and I just don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, if you like it, great. I can't eat it. It just doesn't sit with me. So I watched somebody, I think her name is Naomi. She's a vegan health coach, and she smashed, literally, she took the, do I have it in here? Oh, so I want to show you what I did. Hold on a second. Hold on, I'm coming back. Hold on. So I took the chickpeas and I put them in here, and it has a lid on it. It's got a pull thing, and I smashed them so that they were literally like when you know, the olden days when you would make tuna fish, smash. I would pull until it was totally like mush almost. And then I added, the key for me was not adding even vegan mayonnaise. I added some mustard and some tahini and just a bunch of other things. And now I'm like obsessed. Talk about obsessed. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. I had it on a piece. Oh, is he up? Yes. Hold on. Try him. And if he doesn't answer, I'll ask him. Okay. So anyway, I made it for lunch. I had it on a piece of my homemade. I made it in the bread machine about a year ago, and I found it in my freezer. So it was a piece of gluten-free bread. And there's my sister. Hello. So Faye's here. Okay. Thank you, Shauna. I had that, and then I had a salad with it and a little bit of hummus in it with some balsamic vinegar, and it was delicious. Yum, 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 yummy. Okay, so now, Faye, tell everybody what you've been up to. She's a little balabusta in the kitchen. Let us know what's, you know what, everybody, what are you having for dinner? Let's go there. What are you having for dinner? I would like to know. And in the meantime, I'll mention it again if you're just coming on. If you want to be on the wait list for my next June reset, make sure that you click on the pinned post and fill out that Google form so that you don't miss out on it. Because once it's filled up, it doesn't pressure you. It doesn't. I'm not going to hold you to it, but at least you'll get on the wait list. Okay. Faye says I'm putting yellow gold potatoes in the Instant Pot. Cool. I made some Shauna's recent recipe of what did you call it, Shauna? I forget. But what does my nose have this really weird thing on it? What I did was I soaked lima beans about a month ago, and then I didn't have time the next day to cook them, so I froze them soaked. And so it's this soup that you make with the pinto beans and leeks, and I can't remember what else is in it, but it's very simple, and I tasted it already, and it's delicious. I cannot wait to have it. Butter bean bliss. That's a great name for it. I like that. Amy's having tofu egg roll in a bowl. Ooh, that sounds really good. Yum, yum, yum. And Faye says, I can't stop eating the pinto beans I made. What'd you do with them? Tell us from start to finish how you made. Did you soak them? Did you Instant Pot them? Did you put them on a pot on the stove? Did you putchki them with anything? Did you add anything? Or is it just plain old pinto beans? Don't leave anything out. We all want to know what you did because you are a great cook. Okay. Starchy Shauna says, that's what I do. I freeze it in the Ninja. Yeah, I'm going to freeze my sorbet the next time I make them. I have tomorrow maybe, or maybe on Sunday, I'll go to Costco. I am owed a trip. All right, let's see. I want to go to my list. Shauna says, I'm having loaded potatoes if I can finish my cheese sauce. Loaded with what? Do tell. Yum, yum, yum. That sounds great. I like baking potatoes and then scooping them out and adding like chopped onions and baby spinach and I can't remember what else I put in, but even that is good, just like that. Amy says, I have a psychological problem with butter beans. I hated them when I was little. It's so funny that you said that because somebody else was telling me that today. Oh, I know who it was. We had somebody come over to help us with something, and she said that she had like nightmares about being forced to eat butter beans when she was a kid. And I agree. I don't know if our parents, Faye, maybe you remember, but I had this like aversion. Butter beans, yuck. Lima beans, yuck. Ugh, don't even go near them. But now, oh my God, the soup came out so good. Faye says, no soaking, pinto beans, water, cilantro, badia, complete seasoning. Oh, I need to know what that is. The no salt seasoning from Costco, she puts it in everything. Yes, I turned her on to that. Okay. Loaded with cheese sauce and salsa and black beans. Yum. So you put the black beans over the top of the potato and then add the salsa and the sauce. Oh, yeah. And Faye says salt and pepper. Mom never made butter beans. Lima, yes. But I think lima beans are butter beans. I think. I'm not positive, but so anyway, let me get back. So I don't want to get too far away from what I was saying. I want to stick to the subject of this live, which is that I'm done starting over. This is why I created my Done with Diets reset, because I wanted to help anybody else who felt the way I did about not starting over and getting off the diet roller coaster. You might still want to lose weight. I like to call it releasing weight, because losing weight even has such a negative connotation in it. It fills me with thoughts of guilt. But if you want to release weight, I get it. And it's so, it goes against every grain, every bone in my body. It always did. It doesn't anymore. But to eat more, to lose weight, to release weight, you have to eat more. That's just all there is to it. And it's so hard to believe. It's almost doesn't make sense. But you have to trust us, because Faye's been there, Shauna's been there, I've been there, and I'm sure others of you who are here have been there. And we know now that all the BS that they taught us about being on a diet and eating less is BS. That's what it is. It's BS. It's just, I could get on my high horse, but I won't. Okay. But I do know that I'm not the only one who was tired of starting over and constantly starting over and starting another diet. Oh my God. If I tell you how many times I started WW, you know what that stands for. Seriously. I mean, over and over and over again, and paying for the meetings and the app and the crapola food. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't say that, but they're chemically full, just maybe it's different today, but man, when I was on it, it was not so great. So and that was not the only diet I was on. You name it, I owned every diet known to mankind. I think my first step towards freedom was when I took my box of diet books to the library. I lived in Worcester at the time. And that was my first step towards food freedom. Shauna says, I eat more now than I have ever eaten in my life. It's so true. And you're a WW failure. Faye and her kids and I used to call it Dub Dub. I don't know, Faye, why did we call it the Dub Dub Club? We call it Dub Dubs. But yeah, and then there were half a dozen, if not more, diets that I was on multiple times, and they never worked. Never worked. I was miserable. To this day, there are days when I don't even, this is hard for me to even believe. There are days when I don't even get on the scale. I'll go for a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. And then I get on the scale and I'm like, gosh darn it, I'm the same weight I was 2 weeks ago. And and I eat massive amounts of food. At 71, I started this at 64. I'm 71 years old now, and I am as happy as a pig in you know what, a pig in poop. Okay. So my reset is designed to, let me go to my notes. It's designed to help women step off the diet roller coaster and begin building a whole food, plant-based, oil-free lifestyle in a realistic and sustainable way. And for those of you who are sticklers about the whole food part, I would say plant-based, minimally processed. Okay, so not everything I have is whole food. It's not. So it's kind of a misnomer to say that, but it's such a part of our vernacular now that it's just a habit. But the truth is that it's plant-based. Hold on. Plant-based and minimally processed. Okay, like for me, rice cake. That's not whole food. It's minimally, but it's to me, it's minimally processed. Okay. Sarah and Jesse named it Dub Dubs. Oh gosh, okay. I don't remember that. Faye says, I've been home since May 3rd, and it's amazing how quickly the inflammation goes down. Tell us about that. How do you know that the inflammation has gone down? You mean May 3rd when you came home from your trip, your cruise and your trip to Portugal? Is that what you mean? Do tell us. And Faye says, I'm making tomatillo salsa. Oh man, you need to give me that recipe. I want that recipe. I'm sure it's easy. I'm telling you, Faye is a balabusta. She should have her own YouTube channel, right, Shauna? Faye is such a good cook. Anyway, wait list for the next reset. Please click on the link that's pinned and fill that sucker out so you don't miss out on it, because it's darn fun. So she says, I lost weight since you've been back from Portugal. Okay. Peg says, do you just eat more veggies and fruits and grains and less of the starchy foods like potatoes? When I eat more, I end up gaining weight. I eat as much as I want, and I don't measure, and I don't weigh, and I don't portion it out. I kind of build my plate. If you imagine, I left it in the other room, but if you imagine around a plate, and I would say, divide that plate in half. The half of it is starchy vegetable, non-starchy vegetables. You know what those are, non-starchies, right? From zucchini to onions to kale and collards and just all that kind of stuff. Lettuce, cucumbers, although I tend to really fill it more with the lettuce and cucumbers. I sort of will have as a side salad, but I really try to have more what I call the non-starchy vegetables. And then the other half, I do either all starch, or I divide it in half and do half of it plant-based protein, like a tofu, beans, etc. And the other half would be, so a quarter of that. And then the other quarter would be, it could be pasta, it could be potato, it could be rice, something like that. And then I almost always have some kind of a sauce that I make with it. And if you still are gaining weight, then it would behoove you to look at to keep a food diary and take a look at what you're eating on the calorie density chart, and seeing if you're tending to eat more on the higher side, the things that are, say, above 600 calories per pound, right? So even the tofu, you have to be somewhat careful with that if you're on if you want to release weight. And the nuts and the seeds, you have to be careful. And the avocado, those are the things that are higher in fats. Now, you will get to a point, I believe you will get to a point like I am now, where that's just a non-issue. But if you were my client, I would have you fill out a food journal for at least 3 days and really take a careful look, like with a magnifying glass, at everything that you're eating. I hope that helps, Peg. Christine says to Peg, wait till your hunger cues stop when you're, I'm not sure. Wait till maybe listen to your hunger cues. Stop when you're satisfied. That's what I've learned, and now I'm losing again. Yeah, and that's hard to do also, because we're used to the food's delicious. We want to finish it, but the best thing you can do is, really, really pay attention to what you're eating and to how your stomach is satiated. And when when you take that last, you're not necessarily even paying attention, but when you go that last, like, okay, I'm full breath, it's okay to leave food on your plate, even though you might not want to. But that's also something that helps, is really listening to your hunger fullness cues. Dry fruit. Oh yeah, baby. Dry fruit. Have I learned that the hard way? Yes, dried fruit, raisins, dried cranberries, all the dried apricots, dried pineapple, all of that is very high in sugar. And also the water has been dried out of it. That's why it's called dried fruit. And you want to eat foods that have more water in them. Vegetables and starches have more water in them. Pasta, you have to be careful with the pasta. I think if you're going to have pasta, try to have the bean pastas. I think that's a safer bet. Well, I don't love them. I'm not going to lie, like the chickpea pastas, the red lentil pastas. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll mix them with a spiralized zucchini, and then it helps me to like the bean pastas more. And I even do that with regular gluten-free pasta. I will mix it with spiralized zucchini because it lowers the calorie density, and it's good. It's actually a nice chew to it. Carol, let's see. Carol says, I just tuned in. Did you say you're doing a reset? Carol, yes, I am doing a reset in June. And if you're interested in being on the wait list, please make sure to fill out the form. There's a Google form that's pinned. So I'm pretty sure you'll see it at the very top. Let me just go up. Yeah, it's at the top of the chat. It's at the bottom of the chat. You can't miss it. It's got like a yellow bar around it. And it doesn't hold you to it. It simply puts you on the waiting list. So make sure that you do that. Let me look at my notes again. Okay. So I think it's time for a song. Let me go to my lyrics. So I wrote this song, and I'm going to play my ukulele. And it's kind of a kid song. I'm hoping that somebody wonderful, like a producer, will find me. I have this vision of this producer will find this and go, that's the best song for kids I've ever heard. We need to record that now. So it's called What Are You Going to Eat? And it goes like this. What are you going to eat? Come on and tell me. What are you going to eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you going to eat today? There's a second part, but let's do it again and listen to it together, shall we? And feel free to hit the heart to tell me how much you love the song. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have some broccoli. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have some broccoli. You know, I just can't wait. And then we're gonna start it again. And what I need from you is in the chat, what are you going to put on your plate that I can zip into the song? So what are you going to put on your plate? What are you going to eat? Come on and tell me. What are you going to eat? Come on and put it. What are you going to eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you going to eat today? I'll have some potatoes. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have potatoes. You know, I just can't wait. What are you going to eat? Come on and tell me. What are you going to eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you going to eat today? I'll have some chickpeas. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have some chickpeas. You know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have sweet potatoes. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have sweet potatoes. You know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have arugula. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have arugula. You know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have cutie cubes. That's what I'll put on my plate. Cutie cubes. You know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have some oatmeal. That's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have some oatmeal. You know, I just can't wait. I'll have some Brussels sprouts. You know, that's what I'll put on my plate. I'll have Brussels sprouts. You know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What will you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something for my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? I'll have some butterbean bliss. That's what I'll put on my plate. So I'll have some butterbean bliss. That's, you know, I just can't wait. What are you gonna eat? Come on and tell me. What are you gonna eat? What you put on your plate? Something kind of yummy, something on my tummy. What are you gonna eat today? Okay. All right. That was fun. Thank you for playing with me and giving me your suggestions. So let's close with a couple of things. First, if you're somebody who keeps feeling like you're failing because you just can't stay consistent, I hear you. I see you. And I want you to know that it's not about willpower. You simply need more food, the right food. You need simpler meals. You need support. You need to take brave, bold action. You need to never give up. And did I say support? Yeah, and you need support. So those are the three main, sort of my anchors when I'm coaching. I tell people you need to take bold, brave action because you're going to be going really against what most people in your life do. You have to be very, very. Janie says her husband is dancing. That's adorable. And thank you for all the compliments, Janie and Anna and Amy. And Amy, I've been a musician since I was 5 years old. So I play piano. That was my main instrument. That's what I went to college for, actually. I can play the you-know-what out of Bach and Beethoven and Mozart. And I play guitar, which I learned when I was teaching music in the public school, and ukulele and accordion and recorder. So let's see. So 3 things that I want you to remember. Write these down. Put them somewhere where you'll see them. Put them on a Post-it note and stick them on your fridge where you'll see them every day. Take bold, brave action because you might be the only one in your house and the only one in your family and the only one with your friends and your community. Other people are going to think you've lost your mind. But take bold, brave action. Never give up. Don't give up. Make choices and then learn from those choices. And then make sure you have a good support team. And that's what these weekly lives are about. That's what my reset is about. Shauna has a reset that she's doing right now. That's a 30-day reset. You need to have community to help you know that you're not the only one. Okay, that's really, really important. You need to have systems. You need to learn how to prep. I mean, there's just no getting around it. Prepping is absolutely key. And taking the time to prep so that you're not going to stand in front of your refrigerator and go, oh, damn, what am I going to eat tonight? You have to have foods prepped like at any given time. And you have to be willing to eat a plate or a bowl that's not exotic and that's not fancy and that's not like the best thing since sliced bread and isn't a home run, but it's satisfying. And here's what will happen. You're going to taste potatoes and you're going to go, wow, I never knew a potato could taste so good. Why haven't I noticed this before? You're going to taste vegetables. You're going to taste broccoli and just aside from the fact that it smells like farts, sorry, it does. You're going to be like, wow, this broccoli is amazing. It tastes delicious. It will happen. Your palate will change. Peg says, thank you. I think that's where I was going wrong. For example, for breakfast, I had sweet potato with sliced apple and banana, and that was it. I didn't combine it with anything else. Yeah, that's a lot of starch. That's not a lot of, if I were going to rejigger that plate, I mean, it sounds good, but I would, first of all, sweet potato, I wouldn't air fry it into spears because that's going to dry it and take the water out of it and make it less. It's going to make it not as release weight friendly, we'll call it. Okay. And what I would do is I would think about making it a savory breakfast. We always think, especially in America, of having, sweet breakfasts. But what if you were to take baby kale or curly kale or dinosaur kale and chop it up really, really fine, take out the potato innards, mix it with the kale, add some chickpeas to it, add some, maybe a tiny eensy-weensy drizzle of tahini or cheese. I don't know that I would do cheese sauce on a sweet potato. I'm not sure. I'm kind of not sure about that. But if anybody else has any other ideas for how to revamp that sweet potato. Cherry tomatoes, right now you could add those to the sweet potatoes. So you would have the kale mixed in with chopped kale mixed in with the smashed sweet potato innards. And then on top of that, add a boatload of vegetables, a boatload, like overflowing, like Mount Vesuvius overflowing, and add some chickpeas to it, or add some lentils, open a can of lentils and add that. You'll be surprised, or add refried beans that are fat-free refried beans. But I mean, my mouth is watering just thinking of that. To me, that sounds delicious. Beth says, I have sweet potatoes with broccoli and chopped kale. So you have sweet potatoes with broccoli. Are the sweet potatoes separate? Broccoli separate? Chopped kale salad separate? Tell us. And hummus. And Beth, Green Eye Lady is Beth, and she's a masterful at creating these kinds of plates. You are, Beth. You are. Sometimes you add them both. Yeah, and you will just try to switch a little bit from that sweet potato with the banana and the apple. That's a lot of sweets to have with it. So that's what I would tell you. So what I would like to know as we head into ending this, because I want to try just a few more minutes, is if you have been stymied, if you have been stuck, what keeps you stuck in the starting over cycle? What keeps you stuck in that roller coaster? I'll start again tomorrow. I'll start again on Monday. What happens to keep you stuck? And I'll tell you that for me, if I ate one thing that was off plan, then I was off to the races and I would not forgive myself. So I think that not forgiving myself and not giving myself grace was what kept me stuck. I'd love to know what keeps you stuck. Amy says, same here. Amen. Yeah. That not forgiving yourself. Beth says, I'm not stuck anymore because I feel each meal is a new adventure. That's such a wonderful way to look at it. It is. It's like going on a new trip. And I take pictures of all my food. I mean, I have like 15,000 pictures of food on my phone. And I love seeing them because I look at them and I'm reminded of how far I've come. And I'm reminded of all the delicious meals I've eaten. Peg Marie says, great, thanks. So glad. Beth says, me too. Carol says, traveling. So traveling, yes, traveling is a whole other animal. Traveling can really be difficult if you don't have systems in place. For me, that was, now that you mention it, traveling was difficult because I would throw caution to the wind and say, screw it. I'm on a vacation, or I'm going to be gone for 3 days. I'll get back to it after the 3 days, right? Now is all there is, says, I tell myself eating this bad thing is not that bad, right? And also, speaking of that, it's also assigning value, bad or good, right? And I think we need to get away from that value. Amy says special events and holidays, realizing, Shauna says, not realizing that I needed to change my taste buds and give these whole foods a chance to work their magic. And it is magical. And you will not believe it until you experience it. It's one of those things you have to walk the walk in order to really experience it. So part of what we do in our resets, Shauna's reset, my reset, is to discuss and teach about how to handle traveling. I mean, you need to have some strategies. And once you get those strategies under your belt, you're you're really off to the good races. Yes, Shauna says, you are right that community is so, so important. It's really one of the keys, is having community, because we are if there was a micro minority to the minority, that's what we are in. We are in the micro, and then more micros, 100 micros community, because most people think that I am off my rocker. They don't tell me that, but I know they do. And that's okay. That's okay. I'm the one that has to put my head on my pillow every night and feel good about myself. Beth, Green Eye Lady, says, community support, particularly some of us don't have other eaters in the home. like me that follow this lifestyle. You know, most of us don't. And so we have to figure out how to make it work for us. Right. So, what I want to also encourage you to do is to make sure that you're subscribed. So, I don't know if you're listening, if you have tuned in and you're not subscribed, I would ask you, let me see if I can find, let me try this. I'm going to go to here and to my links. Okay, because what I'm going to do is I am going to, oh, no, I don't want music. I want this one. Okay, here's my links. I am going to go to YouTube and do my subscriber link, and I'm going to copy it. And now let's see if I can put it in here. Yeah. Okay. If you see what I just put in, yeah, Faye put in Ellen's Healthy Kitchen, and I put in, and I'll do it. Why is it not letting me do that? Let me try it one more time. I think it's not going to let me do it. Is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, so you can see I put in a, look at my latest message, my latest chat, and you'll see if you click on that. Actually, let me know if it works when you click on it. That's where you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. And just make sure that you subscribe, because I don't want you to miss any of my plant-based goodness. And a lot of my motivation is what I share here, and somewhat, you know, on my videos as well. I have a new video coming out probably tomorrow, sometime in the next day or so. It's my What I Eat in a Day video. So you'll see that soon. I'm going to try to get it on tonight if I can. All right. I want to say we have 3.5 minutes, because I like to try to get to 60 minutes. It's just kind of a thing I have. Let's do this. What is one thing that's a takeaway for you for today, for today's live? What's something, when I close this out and we're finished with today's live, what's one thing that is a takeaway for you that you're going to go home with? And then when I see a couple, we'll talk about them, and then we're going to do our final, our meditation. Green Eye Lady says, plan, plan, plan. Now is all there is says, it works. Great. You know, I would like to make a big visual of all these. Maybe someday I will. Anna says, what a beautiful voice Ellen has. Thank you so much. That really is so sweet of you. It was a fun song. Yes, have fun, sing a song, do a dance, put on some music, you know. We got an Alexa. And now, I mean, just, let's see, what's a good Stevie Wonder song? Can anybody remember? What's a good Stevie Wonder song? I'll ask Alexa to play it. We are here for a reason, is what Green Eye Lady says. Yes. Hey, Alexa, play one of Stevie Wonder's most popular songs. Let's see if she does it.
This is Stevie Wonder from Spotify.
This is new. Hey, Alexa, make it a lot louder. Alexa, make it a little bit lower. Okay. Michael's going to have a bird. Alexa, you can stop the music. Thank you. It's like my newest toy. I love it. That's so funny that it responded. Your Alexa responded to my. Did it play the did yours play the Stevie Wonder song? That is hysterical. Oh, Anna says my Alexa just did as if she's playing Superstitious. Oh my God, that's hysterical. That is so funny. Okay, so anybody else want to just add one more thing that you learned? Beth says, ha, 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 ha. That is really funny. Okay, let's try to wrap up. Oh, my butt hurts from this chair. Jeez Louise. Okay. let's finish up with our meditation. Okay. Faye says, Alexa, stop. Alexa played for once. For once in my life, I got someone who loves me.
For One by Luna Elize on Spotify.
Alexa, stop the music. Okay, let's do our, that's hysterical. I've never had that. Well, it's new. We only got it a few days ago. Okay, take a deep breath. And now we're going to do our meditation. Thumb and pointer like this. Then thumb and ring finger. Then thumb and third finger. Then thumb and pointer. And then we're going to do it again, but we'll go a little quicker. So we go pointer, fourth, third, second. And now we're going to say, peace begins with me. 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 If you feel like you can do it, close your eyes. Peace begins with me. A little quieter. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Whisper it. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Peace begins with me. Now think the words. Deep breath in, blow it out. At the end of the day, peace begins with you. And that's important to remember. So I want to say thank you to all of you for being here. And it means a lot to me. And I know to all of us that keep showing up, that we just keep showing up. That's all we can do. And take care of yourself also. Thank you, Anna. It was lovely. I appreciate it. All right. Be well, my friends. And remember to sign up for the wait list. Click on that link if you want to be in the know about my next reset. Okay. Be well, everybody.